So now then guys, I'm Sam Carter. Today, obviously as you know, I've started my YouTube again. Got an idea for a little series. It's going to be called Should You Buy A? What I'm going to do is, obviously a lot of my mates got fast cars, I've got this. What I'm going to do is a series kind of telling you the good points, bad points, common cars, things that you might be looking to buy, and sort of give you an honest opinion, good things, bad things, everything that you'll need to know before, so you're making a right informed purchase before you buy sort of a car that you're looking at buying. Obviously, the cars that I'm thinking of off the top of my head, obviously my Astra VXR, Focus STs, Golf GTIs, Golf Rs, anything that you'll be looking at if you're in the UK, you're around my age and you're looking at sort of wanting a faster car, maybe a second car, third car, anything like that. I just thought doing this series is something, one, it'll entertain me, give me something to do, content for you guys, and it's just something that I think will be more entertaining than sort of just cinematics. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So yeah, starting off, obviously I'll talk about Astra VXRs, I know quite a lot about them. I think that's, when you're in the UK and you're my age, if you're wanting to get into the car scene, the cars that you're kind of forced into getting is sort of a Ford, like a Fiesta ST, Focus ST, something like this, a GTI, a Renault Megane, or just something along them lines. So yeah, I'll just talk about good points, bad points. We'll start off with the bad points of something like this. Bad points of getting Astra VXR. The first thing, fuel economy. Your fuel economy will be horrendous. No matter what anyone tells you, it will be awful. Like, I put 20 quid in this and it'll probably last me maybe going out once for a bit of a drive, and then that's it. You'll be filling up all the time. If anyone tells you any different, then they're wrong. I'll tell you that now. The thing that annoys me that not a lot of people complain about is, I put a splitter on this, which is giving it a really low front end, which means you've got to be really careful when driving it, because I bottom out over speed bumps all the time, which is really, really annoying on the splitter, but that's just one of them things. Next thing is the gearboxes. If yours hasn't had the gearbox built or refurbed, they are absolutely crap. Like literally, they just shit themselves. It's the M32 gearbox that's in these, and they just don't seem to like power out of the factory. But if you've had it done, then you're completely fine. This one's been built, which is decent, and I haven't had any problems with it since. But obviously on a standard gearbox, you are going to get quite a lot of problems. Another thing that's caused me quite a few problems is I did blow a turbo when I first got the car. That's obviously all taken care of now, which it's one of them things. It's a performance car, it's going to happen. I think if you're buying a car like this, you need to appreciate that stuff like that does happen, not get too upset about it, and you've got to sort of appreciate you are going to have to spend money on it. It's not like something that's just going to keep working and working and working. On the topic of turbos, did crack a manifold not long ago at the penny valve and also on top of it. But like I say, that's another thing. Strip it off, maybe take you a couple of hours, strip it off, put a new one on. It's all sorted. But like I say, if you're getting into performance cars like this, you're never ever getting into it thinking it's cheap, and if you are, then I think you need to re-evaluate the situation. The one thing that if you spoke about a car like this that people probably will tell you is that a lot of the time they sometimes have engine faults, but from what I've been told, from what I've learned, if you warm them up, cool them down, always check your oil and stuff like that, they seem to run okay. It's people who sort of get in them, start them and just absolutely abuse them, that's where you seem to get your problems. But other than that, obviously the piston fall problem, that's more of a Corsa thing, but sometimes it does happen on the Astras. So anyway, we'll move on to the good things about a car like this. So, or just VXRs in general. Cheap to buy. For the money, you probably won't buy anything faster, because obviously not a standard one. You can pick them up from anywhere between sort of 2.5 to 5,000 quid, and for the power that you're getting for the money, you probably won't buy anything else. They're cheap to maintain, so service, I don't think I've ever paid more than sort of 15 quid for oil and filter for this, which is absolutely mint, and just keep servicing it all the time, which is good. With the cheap to maintain as well, parts are cheap as well as modified parts being cheap. So if you want to learn how to modify a car, I'd recommend something like this, because obviously in an ideal world everyone would have their dream car, but if everyone had their dream car, parts and stuff like that are mega money. The more expensive your car, the more expensive the parts are, and obviously with Vauxhall being an English brand, it's quite easy to get your hands on the parts that you want. The best thing that I like about this car is because of how cheap it is. It's faster than a lot of more expensive things, for instance like S3s, you're talking Scirocco Rs, stuff like that. It is quicker than them, and for the money you're paying for it, it just puts a smile on your face whenever you're driving it. especially when you can fly past someone who's in a car that's £30,000-40,000, which is mint. I think that's just something that you can't replace. In my opinion, I think they look really good, which obviously it's personal choice, but I think just the Mark V Astra shape, or say the Astra VXR, they look really good. They're really interesting looking cars. And the last thing I'll say is they're really, really cheap to maintain, and they're not that expensive to insure. I think this has cost me £1,985 with Brent Acre, which is decent. If ever you're looking at getting a quote, I'd be sure to hit up Brent Acre, because they really have looked after me with this. All mods declared, which is decent. I would advise doing that as well. You don't want to be risking it, because obviously if you get pulled over or you have a crash, you're not insured. But yeah, other than that, I've got a couple of cars lined up to do this sort of video on next, so if there's any cars you would like to suggest, things that you're looking at buying, stuff that you'd like to see, a car that you maybe have that you'd like to display, just let me know and I'll be sure to sort of hit you up, make a video on it. So thank you for watching.